In the spotlight tonight is Andrew Muller from Essex, a technical editor. His specialist subject is English castles. Darren Martin from Lancashire, an IT consultant, taking British television comedy from 1970 to 1990 as his subject. Patricia Feny from Liverpool, a retired teacher, and her subject is the Flora and Fauna of Great Britain. And Stephen Peake from Cheshire, self-employed, his subject, the Fairport Convention. Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. The rules, as you probably know, are simple. Each of the contenders has chosen a specialist subject, and that takes care of the first 2 minutes of questions for each of them. Then, the second 2 minutes is based on general knowledge questions. The winner tonight goes through to the next stage, the quarterfinals, and then, well, who knows, the final maybe. The big prize is a glass bowl, and much more importantly, the highly coveted title of Mastermind 2003. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Andrew Muller.
And your occupation?
Technical editor.
And your chosen subject?
English castles.
English castles, 2 minutes on English castles starting now. Beeston Castle, built in 1220 on a 500-foot high sandstone rock, but now largely in ruins, is to be found in which county?
Cheshire.
Correct. Caister Castle in Norfolk, often called Falstaff's Castle, was built in the 1430s using what material?
Brick.
Correct. Extensively rebuilt in the 17th century on the site of a much larger medieval structure, Bolsover Castle in Derbyshire was the property of which family at the time of the restoration?
Pass.
Bodiham Castle in West Sussex is one of the finest examples of a complete medieval castle in England, the outer walls having been restored by its new owner in 1917. Who was he?
Pass.
In which castle, a bishop's fortress until 1836, is there a university college and a beautiful Norman chapel?
Durham.
Correct. One of William the Conqueror's earliest Motte and Bailey castles overlooks the River Medway and the main London to Dover road. In which town is it?
Rochester.
Correct. Castle Drogo in Devon, the home of Julius Drew, the founder of the Home and Colonial Stores, was designed by which architect in 1910?
Sir Edwin Lutyens.
Correct. In which castle in Staffordshire was Mary Queen of Scots twice imprisoned between 1568 and 1586?
Tutbury.
Correct. Which castle in Suffolk, built by Henry II as part of his coastal defences, has a unique, many-sided keep?
Orford.
Correct. Borough Castle in Norfolk is the site of a ruined castle that has been a stronghold since Roman times. For what purpose were the circular bastions designed?
To deflect cannonballs.
No, to support artillery machines. Which castle, perched high on a crag, was built in the 12th century to guard a strategic crossing of the River Wye between England and Wales?
Goodrich.
Correct. Saltwood Castle in Kent was the home of which Conservative MP until his death in 1999?
Pass.
Which castle, once the childhood home of Anne Boleyn, was confiscated by Henry VIII and eventually given to Anne of Cleves as a sop for a quick divorce?
Hever.
You're correct about that too. It was Hever Castle. So, you had 3 passes, and the last one, Alan Clark's home, was notoriously, you may think, Saltwood Castle in Kent. Bodiham Castle in West Sussex was restored by Lord Curzon, and it was Sir Charles Cavendish who began the restoration of Bolsover Castle in Derbyshire in 1608. So, Andrew Muller, you scored 9 points. And our second contender, please. And your name is?
Darren Martin.
Occupation?
IT consultant.
And your chosen subject is?
British television comedy, 1970 to 1990.
And on that subject, you have 2 minutes, starting now. In The Two Ronnies, who was the detective partner of Charlie Farley?
Piggy Malone.
Correct. Which TV personality's imaginary friends included Apricot Lil, who worked in a jam factory, Slack Alice, a coalman's daughter, and the postman Poppet Pete?
Lara Grayson.
Correct. Which television sitcom featured Sheila Sabatini, an esteemed but feared surgeon at the Gillies Hospital?
Surgical Spirit.
Correct. Which former Coronation Street actress's last major television role was Phyllis Nugent in the comedy series Constant Hot Water?
Pat Phoenix.
Correct. In Rising Damp, what was the name of the university administrator played by Francis de Latour, who was the object of Rigby's lust?
Miss Jones.
Correct. What was the name of the diminutive Gestapo secret agent played by John Louis Mancy Adrian in the TV series Hello, Hello?
Herr Flick.
No, it was von Smallhausen. In his first television acting role, which pop star played Davy Jackson, a lockkeeper in the series The River?
David Essex.
Correct. In which series did Tony Britton and Nigel Havers star as father and son doctors Toby and Tom Latimer?
Don't Wait Up.
Correct. In Up Pompeii, what was the name of Lurkio's boss, originally played by Max Adrian?
Ludicrous Sextus.
Correct. Which comedian's television breakthrough came when she was signed to sing a topical song at the piano on That's Life?
Victoria Wood.
Correct. Who, complete with northern accent, starred as the fire-breathing dragon of Buckingham Flats, Queenie Shepherd, in the sitcom Queenie's Castle?
Diana Dawes.
Correct. What was the name of the spiv played by James Beck in Dad's Army?
Private Walker.
Correct. The last television series of which comedy actor, who died in 1979, was Bloomers, in which he played a wrestling actor who became a partner in a florist shop?
Richard Beckinsale.
Correct. What was the name of the claret-nosed, yellow-toothed Australian cultural attaché created by Barry Humphries?
Les Patterson.
Correct. In Bread, what was the name of Freddie Boswell's bit on the side, played by Eileen Pollock?
Lilo Lil.
Correct. In which Surrey town was the television series The Good Life set?
Surbiton.
Correct. And you passed on none of those questions. Darren Martin, you scored 15 points. And our third contender, please. And your name is?
Patricia Feny,
And your occupation?
retired teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The Flora and Fauna of Great Britain.
Flora and Fauna of Great Britain in 2 minutes, starting now. What popular name is given to the secretion with which the nymphs of the frog hopper surround themselves while they suck sap from plants?
Cuckoo spit.
Correct. What name is given to the droppings that otters deposit at selected places around their territory?
Pass.
What vivid colour do the flanks of the male sand lizard become during their April to June mating season?
Orange.
It's green. Which member of the weasel family secretes a foul-smelling scent from a gland at the base of the tail, giving rise to its old name, the fowl mart, and its scientific name, Mustela putorius?
The stoat.
It's the polecat. Which water bird, whose scientific name is Podiceps cristatus, supplements its blackish crown and crest of winter with chestnut frill for its summer plumage?
Cormorant.
No, it's the great crested grebe. The caterpillars of the great prominent moth feed exclusively on the foliage of which trees?
Mulberry.
No, it's the oak. Horseshoe bats are so named from the pendulous folds of skin around which part of their face used to aid their echolocation?
The ears.
No, it's the nose. Which close relative of the red deer with which it can interbreed and produce fertile offspring was introduced into Britain via deer parks in the late 19th century?
Per David.
It's the Sika deer. Which tree, called by Gilpin the Venus of the Woods, is a large native British member of the olive family?
Pass.
What autotonomy ability do lizards employ to escape an enemy that attacks from behind?
They can shed their tail.
They break the tails off, yes. The caterpillars of which moths store up cyanide compounds as an effective way of making themselves unpalatable to birds?
Pass.
Which member of the loach family has 6 barbels on the upper jaw, which are longer than those of its other British relative, the spined loach? And you can think about this one for a second.
Pass.
Well, the answer to that one on which you passed was the stone loach. You passed on 4 questions altogether. That was one of them. The others were the caterpillars, of which moth they store up their cyanide compounds. That's the rather nasty burnet moth, at least nasty if you happen to be a bird. The tree, which is known as the Venus of the Woods, is the ash. And the name of the droppings that otters deposit at selected places around their territory are, of course, spraints. But you knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
Patricia Feny, you scored 2 points. And our 4th contender, please. And your name is?
Stephen Peake,
And your occupation?
self-employed.
And your subject?
Fairport Convention.
Fairport Convention. 2 minutes on that, starting now. In 1985, the day after Live Aid, who was asked by Dave Pegg to join Fairport Convention?
Rick Sanders,
No, Martin Alcock. The Incredible String Band and which other band shared the bill with Fairport Convention at their first gig at the infamous UFO Club on Tottenham Court Road, managed by Joe Boyd?
Pink Floyd,
Correct. At which Oxfordshire festival held every August for more than 20 years has a Fairport Convention lineup regularly appeared?
Cropredy,
Correct. Who wrote the tracks Slip, Jigs and Reels and The Naked Highwayman, which featured on the 1995 CD Jewel in the Crown?
Steve Tilston,
Correct. 2 members of the band left in November 1969. Sandy Denny was one. Who was the other?
Ashley Hutchings,
Correct. Which Fairport fiddler, whose first studio appearance with the band was on the 1985 album Gladys Leap, severed the tendons in his wrist and was replaced by Chris Leslie for the remainder of 92?
Rick Sanders,
Correct. During October 1971, which group did Fairport Convention support on a tour of America that encompassed 24 cities in 28 days?
Jethro Tull,
No, it was Traffic. On Liege and Leaf, which song completed the medley along with The Lark in the Morning, Rakish Paddy and The Fox Hunter's Jig?
Pass.
Which folk singer and musician wrote the title track to the 1989 album Red and Gold?
Ralph McTell,
Correct. Which drummer, who had played in the group's previous incarnation, the Ethnic Shuffle Orchestra, only appeared in Fairport Convention at their debut concert, subsequently being replaced by Martin Lamble?
Sean Frater,
Correct. What was the name of the church hall in Golders Green at which the group made their first appearance as Fairport Convention?
St Michael's,
Correct. What name was given to the collection of BBC radio sessions recorded from 68 to 69 that featured the band doing songs such as Leonard Cohen's Suzanne?
Heyday,
Correct. Who was the first female vocalist of the band, having been asked to join after meeting Ashley Hutchings in Alexandra Palace?
Judy Dybel,
Correct. What was the hometown of the vocalist Ian Matthews?
Scunthorpe,
Correct. The only Fairport Convention single ever to achieve... I've started, so I'll finish. A chart position in the UK was Si tu dois partir. From which Bob Dylan song was it adapted?
If You've Got to Go, Go Now.
If you gotta go, go now is the correct answer. And that's you done with your 2 minutes. And you had only one pass. On Legion Leaf, which song completed the medley? It was Toss the Feathers. Stephen Peake, you scored 12 points. And that brings us to the end of our round on specialist subjects, so let's look at the scores. In fourth place on 2 points is Patricia Feny. In third place on 9 points, Andrew Muller. In second place on 12 points is Stephen Peake. In the lead at the moment with 15 points is Darren Martin. I say at the moment because now we move on to round two and general knowledge, and things often change at this stage. If there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into consideration and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. So, may I first have Patricia Feny to join us. Miss Feeney got 2 points and had 4 passes, but it must be said that you chose a pretty tough subject. What a huge area to cover, the flora and fauna of Great Britain.
Yes, I think it was a great mistake.
Because you do have another great interest, don't you? I mean, you're a member of the Liverpool Philharmonic Choir.
Yes,
And,
I love music.
And you were the first to do the Paul McCartney piece, the
Yes,
famous oratorio.
it was written for our choir.
It was written for your choir. That must have been quite a moment.
Yes,
And you had Kirita Kanawa to sing with
we
you
did.
as well.
We did, yes.
So maybe you should have done music.
I should have done.
You should. Next time.
It's too late now.
Too late now. Too late now. However, you do have a chance to catch up because, as you know, we now have the general knowledge round. 2 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. What name is applied to a painting or sculpture of the Virgin Mary supporting the dead Christ on her lap?
Pieta,
Correct. In football, which club were relegated from the Premiership in May this year after 10 years with a record high of 42 points?
pass.
Triatomic oxygen, O3, is commonly known by what name?
Pass.
Which city is burned to the ground in the film Gone with the Wind?
Tara? No.
Atlanta. Habib Bourguiba became the first president of which North African country when it became independent in 1957?
Algeria?
Tunisia. Which soul singer was shot dead by his father on April the 1st, 1984, his birthday, after a violent argument at the family home?
Marvin Gaye.
Correct. In the 16th and 17th centuries, what name was given to the French Protestants who suffered severe persecution for their faith?
Huguenots.
Correct. Which child star of the 1930s was United States ambassador to Ghana from 74 to 76 and later to Czechoslovakia?
Shirley Temple.
Correct. In music, what term literally meaning in chapel style is used for polyphonic unaccompanied singing?
A cappella.
Correct. The juice and peel of which fruit is the basis of sauce biragad?
Pass.
Which head of state married his longtime companion, Graça Machel, the widow of the former president of Mozambique, on his 80th birthday in 1988?
Nelson Mandela.
Correct. Worcester Beacon is the highest point of which range of hills?
The Malverns.
Correct. Which member of the royal family was born on June the 21st, 1982?
Prince Andrew.
Prince William. Who, with Pompey and Crassus, formed the first triumvirate in 60 BC?
Caesar.
Correct. The larvae of the crane fly, or daddy longlegs, a garden pest, are commonly known as what?
Leather jacket.
Correct. Which West Indian island archipelago and state consists of more than 3,000 islands, only about 30 of which are inhabited? You could take a stab at this one.
I can't think. Sorry.
It was the Bahamas.
Oh.
You passed on 3 questions. They were the juice and peel of which fruit is the basis of sauce biragad. It's the orange. Used to use very bitter ones, but now they use sweet ones as well, apparently. O3 is commonly known as ozone, and the football club that I could see the panic in your eyes when you heard football, it was West Ham United. Patricia Feny, you scored 11 points. And now, Andrew Müller, would you join us, please? Andrew Müller, who scored 9 points on your chosen subject of English castles. You should know a bit about them. I gather you visited every one of them.
I have, yes.
Literally, you've gone the whole lot.
Yes.
How many are there?
There's around about 1,500.
1,500? You must spend your whole life going to castles in that case.
It took about 9 years.
Heavens. Have you got a favourite out of all that lot?
Probably Raby Castle in County Durham.
Why?
I think it's just a very beautiful building, as well as being very historic. It's really pretty.
And you're going to do a book on them?
That's the intention,
What,
yes.
a sort of guidebook or something?
Yeah, quite a large book.
Yeah, I imagine 15, all of them in it, 1,500,
All of them in it,
1,500.
yeah.
There we are. Anyway, we now move on to our general knowledge round, and you have 2 minutes, of course, starting now. Which of the Bee Gees died in Miami at the age of 53 from heart failure in January 2003?
Morris.
More?
Gibb.
Correct. In local government, what title is held by the Scottish counterpart of an English mayor?
Provost.
Correct. In which of Shakespeare's comedies does the constable Dogberry appear?
Merry Wives of Windsor.
No Much Ado About Nothing. Which TV presenter's autobiographical works include Unreliable Memoirs and Falling Towards England?
Pass.
Which Middle Eastern sweetmeat is also known as lukum, meaning rest for the throat?
Turkish Delight.
Correct. What word describes a heavy substance loaded into the hold of a ship to give it greater stability?
Ballast.
Correct. Which long jumper, when he won at Tokyo in '64, became the first ever Welsh athlete to win an Olympic gold medal?
Alan Wells.
No, Lynn Davis, Lynn the Leap. Kenneth Kaunda was head of state of which African country from its independence in '64 until '91?
Kenya.
It was Zambia. Oahu Island is the most populous, although not the biggest, of which group of islands?
Hawaii.
Correct. Nathan Detroit, Sky Masterson, Harry the Horse and Nicely Johnson are among the characters in which musical?
Pass.
Who in 1886 composed the orchestral suite Carnival of the Animals?
Sanson.
Correct. Which inert gas was discovered in 1868 in the gaseous atmosphere surrounding the sun?
Argon.
It was helium. What name is given to the flap of cartilage which, during swallowing, covers the opening leading into the larynx?
Epiglottis.
Correct. In computing, the bit is a contraction of which 2 other words?
Pass.
Earl of Ulster is a courtesy title bestowed on the eldest son of which royal duke?
Duke of Westminster.
Duke of Gloucester. Which company manufactured the World War II fighter bomber, the Mosquito?
Pass.
Actress and model Isabella Rossellini is the daughter of which film actress who died in 1982? You have a second to think.
Greta Garbo?
No, it was Ingrid Bergman. So you passed on 4 questions. The company that made the World War II fighter bomber, the Mosquito, was de Havilland. In computing, bit is a contraction of binary digit. Now, you know that, don't you? You
Yes.
do it all the time. Nathan Detroit and all those other characters, the wonderful Nicely Johnson, Guys and Dolls, and the television presenter who wrote unreliable memoirs, etc., was Clive James. So at the end of that round, Andrew Müller, your total score has gone up to 16 points. And now would Stephen Peake come and join us. And Stephen, you scored 12 points and you had 1 pass. And your subject was, and I'm ashamed to admit, didn't know it existed. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that, Fairport Convention?
A lot of people don't know of Fairport, but they've been around for years and they have a loyal following throughout, in this country and throughout the world.
What are they? I mean, what sort of...
They're
I mean, I know they're a band.
Yes, they're a group who started out in 1967. Flower Power. They were doing American cover versions.
Oh, it was the hippie
But then they
era.
went into British folk music.
Right.
So they folk rock kind of.
Well, we've all learned a bit, I suspect, tonight. Let's now move on to your general knowledge round. And you have 2 minutes, starting now. Which Maverick MP finally resigned her post as Secretary of State for International Development in May 2003?
Pass.
Who designed the Russian AK-47 rifle, which has been produced in former communist countries all over the world?
Pass.
Which American writer's first novel, The Naked and the Dead, was published in 1948?
Pass.
Which drugs, whose side effects can include drowsiness, are used to treat nettle rash, hay fever, and also travel sickness?
Pass.
In which African country does Port Harcourt stand on the River Bonny?
Kenya.
Nigeria. What version of the card game bridge, invented around 1904, immediately preceded the current contract bridge?
Pass.
Which actor was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar for his role as ruthless go-getter Joe Lambton in the 1958 film Room at the Top?
Lawrence Harvey.
Correct. The oldest quarter of which European capital city is known as the Plaka?
Madrid.
No, it's Athens. What name is given to straight lines connecting prehistoric sites and forming a supposed network across the landscape?
Ley lines.
Correct. Which word from the Romany for nose is used for an informer or police spy?
Snout.
Nark. The leaves of which aromatic plant are sometimes known as Chinese parsley?
Pass.
Capodimonte porcelain was first produced at a factory near which Italian city in 1743?
Venice.
It was Naples. The title track on which 1983 Michael Jackson album featured a spoken word rap segment by Vincent Price?
Thriller.
Correct. The Empress Josephine was born on which island, one of the smallest French départements, in 1763?
Pass.
In computing, what type of company is represented by the abbreviation ISP?
Internet service provider.
Correct. The company, start it so I'll finish, the company Diageo was formed in 1997 when Grand Metropolitan merged with which brewing giant?
Whitbreads.
Guinness. But it was worth a stab, wasn't it? You passed on 7 questions. The Empress was born on the island of Martinique. The leaves of that aromatic plant are coriander. The version of the card game that preceded contract bridge is auction bridge. The drugs, which can cause all those things, drowsiness and nettle rash and everything else, or can help them, is antihistamines. The American writer who wrote Naked and the Dead was Norman Mailer, and the man who designed the AK-47 was Kalashnikov. Of course, he says, and the MP who finally resigned, and you'll know this one as well, the Secretary of State was Claire Short. You have scored, Stephen Peake, 16 points. And now, finally, Darren Martin, who has a total, so far, of 15 points. Television comedy, it does rather suggest you spent a lot, because you did terribly well on it, a lot of your youth watching television?
I'm sure I
watching
did,
television
yeah.
comedies, at any rate.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it about them?
Light relief, I suppose. Pass the time.
So, the funniest comedian of the whole lot. This is not one of the questions, you understand, but who was the one who really did it for you?
I don't know, I suppose it has to be Cleese. John
Cleese. I was hoping you'd say Morecambe and Wise, but...
No, a bit before my time.
But before your time... Oh, well, thanks very much for that. Well, we'll try and make these terribly difficult questions. This is the general knowledge round, as I say, and you have 2 minutes starting now. Asturian, Catalan and Galician are among the native languages spoken in which country?
Spain.
Correct. Later a candidate for the US presidency, who was Jimmy Carter's vice president?
Walter Mondale.
Correct. What name is given to a song of West Indian origin dealing with topical subjects, usually made up, as the singer goes along?
Calypso.
Correct. Which sporting trophy was first offered in 1851 as the 100 Guinea Cup, but was renamed after the first winner?
America's Cup.
Correct. For which 1978 film about the Vietnam War did Jon Voight and Jane Fonda win Best Actor and Best Actress Oscars?
Coming Home.
Correct. Nobles Island and the Island of the Holy Spirit are the oldest part of which European capital city?
Paris.
Stockholm. Up to the end of World War II, which class of warship lay between battleships and destroyers?
Cruiser.
Correct. Which group comprising musicians from the classical and rock spheres had a top 10 hit in 1980 with Toccata?
Sky.
Correct. Which English painter and engraver's works include 6 scenes entitled Marriage à la Mode, completed in about 1743?
Hogarth.
Correct. In mathematics, what name is given to the dividend or quantity above the line in a vulgar fraction?
Denominator.
No, the numerator. Which 20th century political movement takes its name from the bundles of rods which symbolise the authority of ancient Roman magistrates?
Fascist.
Correct. Which king is said to have hidden in an oak tree after his defeat at the Battle of Worcester in 1651?
Charles II.
Correct. Red, silver, sugar, Norway and Japanese are all species of which tree?
Maple.
Correct. In the Christian calendar, what name is given to the day before Good Friday?
Maundy Thursday.
Correct. Stewart Island is the 3rd largest island of which Commonwealth country?
New Zealand.
Correct. Which charity was founded in 1953 to provide confidential emotional support to any person who is suicidal or despairing?
Samaritans.
Correct. Ransom Eli Olds was a pioneer of which industry, started so I'll finish, in the United States in the early 1900s?
Motor car industry.
The motor industry it was. Darren Martin, you had no passes. You only fluffed on 1. You scored a total of 30 points. Congratulations. So, at the end of the general knowledge round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place, with 11 points, is Patricia Feny. In 3rd place, with 16 points and 8 passes, Stephen Peake. In 2nd place, with 16 points and 7 passes, Andrew Muller. And in 1st place, a very clear winner with 30 points, is Darren Martin. So that means that Darren Martin goes through to the next round, the quarter-final stage. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. And thank you for watching. Good night.
Well, revealing what life was really like living in the slums of London, it's back to the 30s with Real History of Britain, next on BBC Two.